know what time it is. Marvin Devine, Huber, Axel, and you know how we do. Yeah, I got the juice. Whip game cool, make them look like cool. Always play it cool, that's the biggest rule. Fuck it, what they doing, keep on doing. I've been making loot since like 22. Ask me how I made it right here in the booth. I'm always pursued cause of what I pursue. That's greatness, yeah, I gotta make it, I got things to lose. Boy, wanna get in my crew, but you can't get in my crew. Me, XL, and Huber, way too fireable. When this joint drop, better call the troops. And when you hear the drop, better raise the roof. Better raise the roof. You already know what happens when we link up. Let's go. Yeah.
Y'all ready for this? Yeah.
This is the Lisa Baxter Show, giving you the 411 in the kidney world. My girl, and say, this is.
Oh yeah, girl. Oh yeah. I know. I heard about Rise Up East New York. Yeah, they're a new program, right? In East New York on Cozine. So they help with jobs, they help with your health. So if you know about health or don't know about your health, they help with that. Referrals, jobs, everything. Wow. Training, all of that. Well, I need to get down there. I mean, I used to have a kidney problem or something like that. That went away or whatever. I don't know. You know what I mean? I ain't sick no more. I used to be sick. I ain't Ellen, you might be a little sick, but I'm good. I'm good. So, but I want to, that show's about to come on. I got to get to that show. Lisa Baxter. Love the lady, but she got to put her teeth in. I don't know what's wrong with her teeth and everything like that. She keep making excuses, but she better do something about that mouth. I don't know. You ain't heard it from me. But I do know one thing. This is the Lisa Baxter Show, giving you the 411 in the kidney world. Hello, guys. How are you? Happy Black History Month. I am so grateful and so happy. Let me tell you, many are the afflictions of the righteous, but God shall deliver us out of them all. Honey, when I went to got my report with the doctor, my creatinine was a 1. Woo! I am just practically normal with my new kidney, my kidney Hannah, who almost 5 years old. Ain't that something? To God be the total glory. I said it, and that's right, and I mean it. Before I introduce my guest, I just want to say a few things to you guys. One of the things I wanted to show you was this. I don't know if you ever saw it, but a lot of times when your fistula is swollen or your arm and stuff is swollen and things of that nature, this is good to have. It sits like this and your arm sits like that. So when you're doing dialysis or maybe you're in the house watching TV or something like that, and you like this, you get really comfortable with it and it's good. You know what I'm saying? It keeps the arm better. It keeps it like in an elevation where, it helps you. My sister uses it downstairs because she used to deal with swelling in her hand and her whole arm and stuff like that. So not just pillows, but they made a device for it. Who knew? Loving it, loving it, loving it. Oh, we need it all. I don't know how many people remember this drink, Nepro. Nepro was very helpful in nutrition, especially good for dialysis patients. No, I'm not getting paid to say it, but I always like to tell you guys what worked. So if it's a good resource, it's good, and that's all to it. I don't know if you're a mom or a woman out there that get WIC. Maybe you don't know what WIC is, but WIC is a women and infant and child program that gives out nutritionist food for your family. So like say you have a certain amount of groceries, they give you more groceries, especially if you have a child under 5 years old. All right, so that's your resource for the day. How about that? And if you have diabetes, whatever type it is, and you have to get it checked, this is my little pouch to check mine. I developed it after I used to take a medication that caused me to have diabetes. Don't forget to use your little booklet to write down exactly what your sugar is, exactly what the levels are, so you can see how you're doing and how you're tapering off and how you can get better at it. Okay? So now, saying all of that, we're going to go into the show, and then I'll do some more stuff and tell you some more stuff after the show. But at this beautiful and present time, we are going to introduce my guest. Let me get my equipment. Woo! All right. I would like to introduce you to Parris Rochford. He's a community district coordinator, and he used to be a dean. That's right, a clean dean at that. And I am welcoming him to the Lisa Baxter Show because he does many things for the community, many things for his family, and just many things even for the church. So I'm introducing right now Parris Rochford. Woohoo! Welcome, Parris.
What's up?
How you doing?
Woman of God, I'm great. Listen, before we start, I gotta give you your props and I gotta congratulate you because you were out here in the trenches giving out information to our community before the pandemic, before the Trump presidency, before remote learning, before all of these challenges came upon our community. You were out here giving out resources, and now we need it as a community more than ever. And you out here on the front lines, and God had given you that vision from the beginning. And I'd like to thank you and congratulate you for the work that you're doing. And I'm honored to be here today. Thank you.
Wow, listen at you. Come on. Thank you. Wow, thank you. Oh, you too sweet. Oh my God. Don't get me started. I don't want to start no crying, no water works. I'm drinking enough water in the corner. As I lose it, I'm drinking it. But well, I'm gonna start out by saying, it's an honor again to have you.
Thank you.
And everything. And I want you to we're gonna drive nice and slow, right there, and tell us about your job and what you do.
Yeah, well, thank you. Well, Ken, my name is William Rochford. I work for the Department of Education. I've been working for the DOE for over 20 years, close to 22 years. And I've done numerous things in the DOE. I started at the DOE working in the kitchen. My brother had hooked me up. I got on. I loved it. I used to do construction before that. soon as I walked into the school system, I said, this is for me. You know what I mean? I saw a chance for a lot of ministry in the school system. So I worked in the food and nutrition department. From there, I worked as a para. Then I became an administrative assistant. Then I became a dean. And then I started working as a parent coordinator. And now I work with the district at the superintendent's office. I work with the community. We have 23 schools that we supervise in the Brownsville section of Brooklyn. You know, and that's an active section, as we all know. And so I work Brownsville community. We do a lot of work with our families, and that's basically what I like to represent in the district, in the DOE, is our families. So I do anything from mediation when there's a problem or a challenge with parents and the school, or parent and the teacher, or children. Schools have safety issues. You know, I work with all of that. I help with the upkeep of our schools in many various ways. So when there's a situation, they may call me. 311, they call me, and I help to try to resolve situations that may be, you know, at hand at that particular time. But I work very closely with our principals. I work very closely with our faculty and administration. And of course, we work closely with our superintendent in that district. So I do quite, I guess, a variety of things, but it all pertains to making sure that our families are healthy and are served in the Brownsville section of Brooklyn.
Wow. You go ahead now. You just go ahead. Now, I know Brownsville can be beautiful and everything, but it's also rough. It's also tough, and it's a strong section. And you know what I mean? It's not always easy. I mean, I've worked over there. I've lived around in there. You know what I mean? And I'm working over near there now, you know, on Cozine, even though it's in East New York, they're like hand in hand over there. So, and we're going to be doing stuff over there together.
Yes,
indeed. How long did you work in the kitchen? Then how long did you work as a dean? You know, each position, because you climbed up the ladder. Some people take a job and stay at the one job and die at the one job. No, not you. You got hooked up, and there ain't nothing wrong with hooked up. I guess it's really who you know. You know what I'm saying? So tell us a little bit about that.
I'm glad you asked that, because when I walked into the school, when I first hit the door in the school system, I knew this was my place to be. You know, I just fell in love with the whole the climate of school, the children, I felt like I could fit in somehow and be, I think, of some help and support. So I worked at the kitchen, and I learned so much from that. I learned how to communicate with our children, even through the kitchen, even through the food, the cafeteria. You know, I saw, you know, the bond that I created with the children, and I, you know, just ministry, just being a light of God. You know, we could just touch so many people, even from that aspect. So from there, I realized, you know what, I want to work with our children even more and have a closer, I guess you could say, access to them. And so I became a para, which is, as we know, para is a teacher's assistant. So I was able to go into the classrooms, and I was able to have and work with some of our special needs children, our children that had different needs. And I saw how God was using me to connect with them in so many ways. And let me say this, and you know, Lisa, that anything that you are passionate about, God is going to give you ways to excel and create. He's going to give you a vision, right? And to create and step outside of the box even. And so I was able to see where I could be of some help. And so as I did what I was doing, people noticed it and recognized it. And so they wanted me to kind of like do other things beyond that. And that's when I became an active dean in one of our schools, PS 121 in Queens, South Ozone. And I was able to kind of get a feel of how that works and how I can kind of be not only a nurturer to our kids, but also have to be a disciplinarian, you know, and balance that off, you know, and it worked. Because when children, one thing I know about children, and I think we can attest to, children know when you love them. Children know when you have a care for them, a heart for them. So even when you got to get a little strict with them, they know that it's out of love. And I was able to kind of like experience that. Then from there, so I worked as a para for about 5 years. And then I worked in the kitchen before that for about 7 years. Worked as a para for about 5. And then after that, I became, I worked as a dean about 6 months at one school, 121. And then I had transferred to PS 354, which is in Queens as well, Jamaica, over there by Rochdale. Shout out to 354. Shout out to PS 121. And I kind of became an active dean at that school. As I was working in that role for about a year, then I became a parent coordinator, which was to work with the parents. And I was kind of challenged with that because I didn't know, how am I going to kind of like sometimes be used to as the disciplinarian, or for lack of a better word, as someone who would have to really challenge our kids to do better in behavior, or to kind of address those situations, those behavior situations as a dean, then still communicate with the parents. Because you don't know what those parents, the kids will probably go home and say, them students will say, they don't like me, or they don't want to, they hate what I am or who I am at the school. But so I was kind of challenged with that situation in the beginning. But then as, again, moving in how God allows us to move, I found out that what I was doing was really a benefit for our children, and they kind of gravitated towards me and really had a relationship with me, and in turn caused me to have a better relationship with their parents. So I was able to work both entities at the same time, our parents and our children, and I got even more engaged, and I think the families embraced me because of that. So parents already knew if I had to get tough with a child, and what I mean by that is if I had to get stern with some of their children as that active dean in the school, then they wouldn't, they didn't mind. They didn't mind because of the relationship that I had with our students and the relationship I had with the parents. They trusted me. And that was something that I never really expected to happen as it did, but they trusted me. So I was able to, I think God allowed me to flourish in that situation based on the relationships I had and based on the trust that I had. I worked with them for about, in that particular school for, I would say about another 4 or 5 years. And then I'm to where I'm at now, And wow. Now, yeah. And let me just say, I'm a community director, a community organizer, and I work with our families in the DOE. And so that's where I'm at now. When they said Brownsville, I was born in Bed-Stuy, Lisa,
Me too.
Right? Born in Bed-Stuy, raised in Jamaica, Queens. And right. So I didn't know how Brownsville was going to embrace me, but I'm so blessed to know that when I've been in there and when I've been in Brownsville and in District 23, and I was able to experience the schools and the families there, they've embraced me so much, and I'm so grateful for their embracement of me and adopting me to the Brownsville community.
Wow. So you started working with the children first, and I see you had PS school, so you had to have different ranges of ages of children.
That's true. That's true. And that's a good point. I started in the elementary school for the most part. And so with the role that I'm in now, we work with elementary and junior high. So that's a different element, as you say. So I had to, again, just do what I do, not really try to pretend to be something that I'm not. I just came in and as I was, and was able to add or try to bring who and what I knew to the table, and it worked. Be
yourself. Well, what I love about this is that You started with the kids. You got your report going with them.
Right.
Then you had to jump in and started working with the parents.
Yes.
That's a good mix. That's a good mesh, you know. It takes teamwork to make the dream work, as my Archbishop always say. You know what I'm saying? So that's like you said, they trusted you to say something to their children. Yes. And some children get a bad rap. Some people need to be shown love in different ways. And sometimes, you know, as a child, as a family or whatever. Right. So I'm sure you have to deal with children that's dealing with different issues. Some stuff at home, maybe somebody's sick, maybe they have an illness themselves. So I'm sure you had to deal with a lot of different things. I don't know if you had to deal with anything with diet or anything, because I know the school lunches is a set lunch. But, you know, I know in school, sometimes the children are diabetics. You know, some of them have different type of things going on that they deal with. I met plenty as a social worker with my job for the 25 years I was a social worker. But wow, you all the way in there.
And you know what, Lisa, and the thing about it is, as we talk about food and lunch, you know, we came across situations where children that was the only meal that they were getting for the day, practically, and we knew it. And we kind of saw, you know, those scenarios where we felt like that was a very strong possibility that was the only meal they were getting for a day. And then we had situations where kids would ask for seconds, and the personnel in the kitchens didn't want to give it. So, you know, that was, again, as you talk about the discerning what was needed, you know, sometimes you had to do things and give extra, even though we knew it probably wasn't directly according to guidelines or rules. But sometimes you need to break the rules, or you need to bend the rules a little bit for the sake of a child or for the need of a situation. And so, there was times when I had to approach, especially in the role that I'm in now, where I had access to, you know, different personnels in schools, and kind of advocate for more food in certain areas. You know what I'm saying?
No, you better go ahead now. That's what I'm talking about. Yes.
We needed
the babies need somebody to fight for them. People need that, you know?
That's right. And that's one of the things. So when you say discernment, and that's one of the things that I think or the reasons why people of God, and I hope I'm not but we have to stress that. You know,
press it. I love Jesus. Go ahead, child. Please, they know I love them. Ain't no just muzzling me. Go ahead. I know.
And so this is how we can be achieve different heights, because we have discernment. We see God allows us to see what is needed, and we're able to act on that. You know what I mean? And so we can't treat every situation like if it's the same situation, or every person like it's the same person. I always say that when you work with people, it's not like working at IBM or working at Microsoft, where it's machines or it's technology. When you work with people, you have to know the person, and everyone is different. And if you have the ability to be patient and to really be passionate about people, anything you do will be successful, because you care and because you want to help. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm blessed to be in a situation, because I want to help, and he's giving me opportunities to do that.
Well, it's not a cookie cutter thing. It's not a one size fit all, you know, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Now, how does your faith plays into this? And then I'm going to ask you something. I got another question for you.
So faith is really, I mean, that's everything, because we do work with people, and there's going to be some times where people just going to wake up on the wrong side of the bed, and they go, you know what I'm saying? They're going to be angry about something that you had nothing to do with. And but you the face that's in front of them. And
that's true.
You know what I'm saying? So
the fire right in the face.
Yeah. So it's like, you have to be ready for that. You have to be prepared for that. You can't really lash out on your own emotions and feel like you have to, defend yourself in that way, because of the fact that, and the matter is, people have challenges, and it's not you. It's just what they may be dealing with. It's what the situation may present at that particular time. So you gotta, you have to be patient. You have to be understanding. I think that's a great word to say. You have to be understanding. But from that, those same people that was your enemy or wanted to be your enemy could be your closest ally. Can be your closest ally when it's handled the right way. Yeah. So but it takes God to know that and to follow that discipline, you know.
Yeah. Once they get to know you, a lot of times they see that you are for them and they lighten up. And then it gives room for a relationship to start. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It gives a lot of room for a relationship to start.
Yes.
Now, you also, now, what is it? Now, you did a fatherhood program or something with men. Talk a little bit about that. There's some men out there somewhere looking. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I'm glad you brought it up. So, you know, as I being in the position of helping families and serving families, I like to say, you know, one of the aspects of serving families is serving the dads. You know, especially in the DOE, I think the father or the dad can be so, I guess you could say, forgotten, or they can be overlooked. And what I wanted to do was allow them to know that we all have a place in the raising of our community and to nurturing our students in schools. And I think the student benefits when dad is more available and accessible. Our mothers do a beautiful job, a great job, and they're hands-on, and I commend them. And I think every dad, every person should commend the things and the efforts that our mothers put in every day. I mean, relentless, tireless, you know, it's priceless. But we wanted our dads to be included in that equation. We wanted them to feel like they had a place. And a lot of our dads felt like in the DOE didn't really have a place to contribute. So I really wanted to create a program initiative that would include dads and make them feel comfortable with the Department of Education, and in particular in Brownsville, where I serve the community. So we created the Fathers and Mentors, Fathers and Mentors. And, you know, we meet with our dads, especially when schools are open. We meet with our dads once a month at a different school to just bring them a part of it, to allow them to be a part of the situation, allow them to be a part of the conversation, and to give them a voice and a platform. What it did was it allowed us to utilize them as they utilize us. You know, we gave them, you know, basically we gave them opportunities to support our schools. So we created the Gatekeepers program, where we have all our men, our dads, stand in front of schools to assure that our kids come in safely, to let them know that this is a safe zone for our families, and that you're not going to just run up on us or run up on schools with foolishness and anything that is not pertaining to the health of our children. So our dads stood for that. They have badges and they stand in front of schools, assuring that our children are safe. So that's one thing that we did, called the Gatekeepers program. Also, we use our dads for our basketball bridge program. On Saturdays, we open up our schools because, you know, in Brownsville, we don't have YMCAs or boys and girls clubs like many communities do. So we use what we have, which is our schools and our gymnasiums. So we created a basketball bridge program, which allows our children to play basketball and to learn teamwork in a safe space with our fathers, with our mentors, and also with our staff. So that's every Saturdays in the morning. Once schools open up, we had to suspend it for a while because, of course, schools closed. But as it opens up, we're going to continue that project. So we wanted to get our dads involved as much as possible. We also have a Dads Read program. We go to different schools once a month, and we'll have dads from kindergarten to second grade just take 10 minutes to read to our children, you know, and that 10 minutes can be unforgettable for for students to sit and watch, you know, somebody's father or grandfather or uncle come in and read to the class. We've done that, and the response that we've got was incredible. So, you know, it doesn't have to be deep or intricate things that dads can do. Just things that are simple, but that are powerful at the same time. And I think we wanted to include our dads in that, and I think it's working pretty well. And we're blessed to have those initiatives even now, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fantabulous. What? That's what I'm talking about. You got to get them involved. You had something called Fatherhood Initiative. And a lot of times, sometimes it was hard because dads are the breadwinners. But like you said, some of them after a while took time to do certain things. And the children used to get so excited that their father came to that school to do something. And, they point them out. That's my daddy. That's my dad. And stuff like that. And you had to be creative if somebody couldn't come. I had to say I had to take a film for the parents, or or something to tell a child, oh no, they're gonna see this. You had to do something to make them feel better.
And Lisa, I'm sorry, when we met with our dads, one of the things that we did was we always took a tour around the school. So you got about 40, 50 men walking in the building and lined up, walking into classrooms, and you see the shock on the kids' faces, you see the shock on the teachers' faces, because this has never been done before. Like, you've never seen that dynamic of engagement. And so again, it was simple walking through, but it was powerful, and that was the message that we wanted to send with our dads.
Well, men are powerful, and they're and they have a certain presence about them. You know what I mean? Right. They show strength. You know what I mean? Yes. Yes. And a lot of wisdom with men too, you know what I mean? So I ain't mad at them, Yeah. Come on here. It takes all of us to do this, you know what I'm saying?
It does.
No hating, you know what I'm saying? Nothing but love.
Right. That's right.
So now you also had two aunts that dealt with one dealt with dialysis and the other one dealt with kidney failure. Did you know or learn anything about that because they dealt with it? Not everybody do.
Yeah, I didn't really know about it until, of course, information that you've given, and then just seeing, with Gino and God bless him. I've learned so much from him. And let me just say this: when I used to work with Gino and Dees in Brooklyn, in Bed-Stuy, over there on Kosciuszko, that was the first time I think honed in my practices with the community. That was it. I learned how to deal with the community from there. I learned what worked and what they needed and what they wanted from back then, and that stayed with me. But as to your point, I didn't really know too much about dialysis. I didn't really know too much about kidney failure until you've given out with the information that you've given, plus with the family members being stricken with it. And then I saw how life-changing it can be. Yes. I saw how dedicated you had to be and disciplined you had to be to continue to help yourself get better. And so anytime and by the way, a lot of those conditions are really vast in our communities, It is. A lot of it based on a lot of what we eat in certain areas and certain aspects. And so we wanted to really always address the whole person, not just the education, not even just the religious church duties, but how we take care of ourselves and how important it is. But I knew that based on the information and experiences that I received from the things that you do and seeing certain members in the family,
Wow. Well, I'm glad you saw something, with me and even with my siblings. Gino and DeSimone were my siblings that he was working with.
Right.
We family, we go too far back. So far back, back there, Right. But, and DOE means Department of Education. So that's the school district. I wanted to say that in case somebody didn't know.
Thank you. Yep.
Now, what can you say that's encouraging to maybe a dad out there or somebody that's looking to work in the school system and maybe they're starting in the beginning like you did?
Right.
What advice or what kind of help or push can you give them to, say something to them, talk to them? I'm going to even move out the way. Go on and talk to them.
Yeah. First, I want to say, hit me up. I want to give y'all my email address. One of the, I think the benefits of working in this position is the fact that in previous years, I was working at one school and I was able to do what I could within the one school. But now, I have the opportunity of being a part of a bigger establishment in 23 schools. So there are even more opportunities to open up. So I encourage anybody, dads and family, whoever is really serious about working in the Department of Education, to come see me, and I'll try my best. My wife and I, Lisa Rochford, she's also in the Department of Education. She works in Central, in the more of a city district, and we are constantly looking for people and trying to push people for positions in the DOE, the Department of Education. But what I would tell those that are interested is, be passionate about it. If you can do it for the right reasons, if you can do it for the love of children, for the love of and the service for your community first, even before money, then you will be great at what you do. You will love what you do, and you will go far. And there's no ceiling of what you can do in the Department of Education. There's so many areas and departments of growth in the Department of Education that if you love what you do, you'll find yourself in one of them, or you'll find yourself wherever you want to be, because the Department of Education is always looking for effective people that love children, that love what they do to be to advance. And so I would just say, love what you do, love to serve your community and your children, and the sky's the limit for you. But I also would say, give me your information, or allow to get in touch with me, and I'll try to get you to the person that you might need to see, so we can all benefit from that.
Wow, great. Well, let your wife sit in. Let her sit in to say hello or something, because I want you to give you a shout out to whoever you want to give your shout out to, anybody in the community. But let Lisa come in and wave or something, or say something.
She is all the way up there. She's working on a project for tomorrow. As a matter of fact, she has an event that she's doing with the district, with the city. On Zoom. Okay, all right. So
I know you wanted her to sit in a little bit, so I wanted to get all of our stuff out there and let her sit in. So all right, so we missed that. I ain't mad at her. All right, she's always doing that great, wonderful job.
Yeah,
I ain't mad at her. Okay, who would you like to give a shout out to? Who, what, or anybody out there?
First, I'd like to give a shout out to you, Lisa. Thank you again. And I know you because that's what humble people do. We don't care we don't do it for that. But I tell you, you deserve your props, because again, you were out here in the front lines from the beginning, and now everybody's really encouraged to do what you're doing, and this is a great this is a powerful tool. So thank you for that. I'd like to thank and give a shout out to my Uncle Bishop Robert Rochford, because guess what? Everywhere I go in some of those schools, almost every school I go to, somebody know him anyway. So I remember one time, and this is no joke. I had to go into a school and I had to address certain things, and somebody wasn't too happy about what I had to do or what I did. And one of them, I kid you not, they said, "I know your uncle," and I'm gonna tell him. I said, so I gotta be. And I'm like,
I knew that was gonna come out, right?
Yeah, I kid you not, true story. But I had to do it. It was professional. I had to do what I had to do as a professional. Hey. But everybody not gonna like what you have to do sometimes. But but he's there. But he's that prevalent in our community in Brownsville. They love him out there, and I so I give a shout out to him always.
That's where our church is at. Go ahead.
Right, Picking Avenue, like right on Picking. So I shout out to him. My uncle, my bishop, that I'm the church that I attend, Milton Rochford. I spoke to him today, and he's doing well. And even in this time, God is really keeping him. And I give a shout out to him. Give a shout out to my wife, who's so supportive. And I'm not good with technology, I tell you that, but she's been there to help me with everything I need to do in concerns with the vision that God has given me. He can give it to you in your head, but I need some help translating it, on platform. So I give a shout out, and I just give a shout out to all our dads, fathers, and mentors. Fam, we got a group of men that I call a board, because we have so many men that we work with. It's impossible for me to do it by myself alone, and I need a board to help me organize and dispatch a lot of responsibility. And my guy, Marvin Fleming, my other big brother, I call him Patrick Gordon, and Fleming, I'm Flinky, and just so many other ones, Marcellus. So I thank those guys for being a part of what we do. Also, I'd like to thank my superintendent, Mia, Dr. Pate, and our district team, who so supportive at what I do. One of the things that they said when I came aboard was just do what you do. You know, we're not gonna hover around you. We know what you're capable of, because I started in Queens with this initiative that I do, and they saw and liked the work that I did. So they just said, do what you do. And they gave me the freedom to be creative. So I thank them, and they're powerful in themselves. So I thank them. And you know, I just thank those who are watching this, and hopefully you know, this climate that we're living in now will even push us further to achieve great things. So yeah.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Wow. Well, then I thank you. Your brother made me this hat. You know, he got a good company and everything.
Yeah.
He made me some shirts and a hat and everything. It's a mess. Yeah. So, you know, but you keep doing what you're doing. I'm very proud of you. You know, I love you and everything like that. And I'm looking forward to working with you when we open up. The office completely opens. Yep. We should be in there between this week and next week, but we're working a little there from home. We're Rise Up East New York. So the Dreyfus, you know, Foundation and everything. So, you know, so I'm looking forward to that. We're going to make some things happen for some families and some people up in that community. And, you know, all of Brooklyn, we always help everybody anyway, but we just starting with this section and this part. So thank you again. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. And guess what? When we set up that office, they're going to love us. They're going to love what we do, because they see that we're real and they see that we're passionate. And one thing about that community, they love real people and they know real people. And that's who we are. So that's right. I look forward to it. And thank you for having me.
Anytime they got to recognize. All right. All right. I'm going to say goodnight. I held my audience captive a little longer than usual. So I got a couple of announcements and I am gone. But thank you very much.
Thank you,
Mr. William.
Thank you so much.
Baxter.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Right. Well, guys, you heard it. Wasn't it wonderful? Wasn't it great? I just would like to say prayers up and support, okay, for Anthony Elliott, who was on our show before. And he did a show with us and everything, and he passed away and everything. So please pray for the Elliott family. Steve Belcher, our wonderful, beautiful helping producer and author and nurse, lost his dad. So prayers up for him. Melissa Bias, right, from Remember Me, she lost her brother. So please pray. Delphine Berry had 2 warriors in her family, 2 siblings that were warriors, and her sister had passed away years ago this month, so she's been having a tough time today, so prayers up for her. My cousin, Shatisha Bestel, who had passed away some years ago, a few years ago, and her birthday, I believe, was this month, but we were remembering her because her siblings had donated her organs and saved many lives. So I wanted to give that out. Thank you. No, I'll do that one next week. But I'm just going to let you see my 2 books, which they've been flashing around. But Through the Eyes of a Dialysis Patient can be you can get them at books at Book Baby. And then you got Melzy Takes Dialysis to Show and Tell. It's Amazon. All right, and Barnes and Nobles. I have given some away to a lot of programs for free. Some of them I have sold for little money or no money. And I just thank you for all your love and your support, for not just only reading the book, getting the book, or supporting the book, but for supporting this show and for making it go viral and wonderful. I love you very much. V for victory. And I thank you much. A million blessings and good night. Shonda.
Brothers. Yeah.
My girl, and say, this is the Lisa Baxter Show, giving you the 411 in the kidney one. My girl, and say, this is